Hey guys, I just wanted to make this quick short, explaining how I come up with my view on markets and how to think about the news and the charts and all the information that you might have coming in because markets are very dynamic and depending on your time frame, you might be factoring some of that dynamicness in. So you'll understand what I mean more. Let's just look at the S&P. Let's start with the chart here. So I talked on Friday how we got this little tiny candle, very, very tiny candle. And that candle there signifies that the market is waiting on something, especially based on the low volume that's there. So that's one thing that I'm taking into consideration. And mentally, I'm giving that one thing a weighting of say 1 to 10. So the next thing that is definitely to take into consideration your market news is the Fed interest rate decision that's coming up here on Wednesday. So that has a very strong weighting, except for one thing. And I talk about this in the market update, the weekly look ahead here. There's a 97% chance, according to the FedWatch tool, that the FOMC is not going to change interest rates. So that heavy weighting that I had, because this is normally a very important thing, it just came way down to nothing. All of a sudden, it's got no weighting for me whatsoever. We talked briefly about Iran and WT oil, oil, WTI, or Brent, depending on where you're from. Um, this has no weighting, but it's just sitting in the background right now. Because if something happens in Iran, it's Sunday night, January 25th, right now. If something happens in Iran overnight, then all of a sudden that weighting is going to become more important. I talked about risks recently that I saw. Now, we're always talking about risks because once you develop a process, a system that consistently generates positive trades, you just have a system, it just runs. Then what you have to think about is risks to that system. And that is not just in trading, that's in business. If you watch interviews with people like Jamie Dimon or Jensen Huang, they're always going to be talking about risks. They're talking about, oh, yeah, all this stuff's good. The system that we built to provide chips or banking or whatever it is working great. So now we want to focus on the risks.